what the puzzle is.
The priest was still
Okay, he's still busy. The sewer seems to be... Maybe I should try to design some games. I know a little bit about Adobe Flash. Maybe I should try to make a Flash game just to test these ideas that I have, you know, like the difference between looking for a puzzle and solving a puzzle. You know, I keep commenting on the design of other games, and then, you know, maybe I can't do any better.
rats. It's locked.
Or maybe I actually know what I'm talking about, and if I make a game it'll be good. I don't know.
There, in the middle of the door, I could see some kind of socket. The door was locked.
Okay, so if you try to use it, it just says
The
it's
door
locked.
was locked. The door was locked. The door.
What?
The door was locked. The door was locked. The door was locked.
Like, he says there's a socket, but he only said it once. If you click it again, he doesn't repeat the clue. What if you missed it the first time? What if you clicked too fast or misclicked the first time and you just got rid of it? No. What's that sound? Is that a new hint? No. Why does it make that sound? Does that mean I'm close or what?
Maybe not.
See, it's making different sounds depending on what I do. Why does that make a different sound? I don't get it.
It was a metal rod with a handle at one end and a short crosspiece at the other.
I don't know what the deal with this is.
It was time for some brutal destruction.
Are you serious?
Hey, that's hollow! I'd poked a hole in an historical site. If any archaeologists came by, they'd lynch me for this.
Are you
There was some sort of mechanism hidden inside the wall, with a lever in the middle of it.
Are you kidding me? Break the wall with that? Like, it's the same with the girl. Like, the girl has this the shell, the bullet shell, that somehow she's been solving like 7 or 8 different puzzles with the same item. Here, like, we've been solving different puzzles with this same item. Like, if you could do that, why couldn't you just punch the wall, or use this to break the wall, or use something else to break the wall? That tool was not obviously a demolition tool, right? See, this is the difficulty with adventure games, is I knew there was something behind this wall, because when you look at it, it says it's crumbling. So there's the hint. But what do you use to break the wall? And the game doesn't tell you that. The game only gives you a limited number of items. Let's move on.
Here goes. The secret door had jammed. I couldn't get through that gap.
Okay.
I'd pulled the lever right over. Inside the hole, I could see one of the cogs had come loose and jammed the mechanism solid.
One of the cogs have come loose and jammed the mechanism solid.
The door. The inscription was hard. Nothing hollow there.
Okay.
That sounded pretty...
The mechanism has come loose and jammed, or the cog has come loose and jammed the saw. See, now I can pick up the chain, whereas before I could only look at it. How's that gonna work? Why would this work? Why would that work? He never said, I need to pull on this door really hard. Like, he never said what sort of thing you needed to do to open that door. It just said it was jammed. He didn't say find something to give this door a hard tug or anything like that. It's missing clues. It's not that the puzzles should be difficult, it's just that they're not giving you the clues. So it's not like it's clever puzzle design, they're just taking out the clues to make it more difficult, and that's not fun games. Okay, now what?
The door mechanism was trashed. It would take a blacksmith or an engineer to do anything with that.
Right. And that looks really dangerous.
There was a crack in the wall. Through it, I could see a glimmer of natural light.
Natural light.
In the beginning was the end.
An end wrought by our enemies began our darkness.
In the end will be a beginning.
An end to our enemies heralds our new day.
Report.
The military establishments are in flux. The end of the Cold War has left them with no clear goal and as obvious targets for budgetary cuts. We have successfully promoted a sense of betrayal in the upper echelons. They feel that the politicians have cast them adrift. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Good. Mademoiselle?
Governments are giving the corporations more respect than their own citizens. A groundswell of dissatisfaction and dissidence is growing. The corporations are becoming too large and complex for their own executives to control them. A blind belief in market forces is accelerating this trend the world over. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
The global population's belief in those that govern it has never been lower. We have inculcated a sense of immediacy and action over forethought and planning in all the major governments. They are acting on hasty decisions that cannot be completed or revoked without appearing foolish. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Excellent. The tired old governments are dying a slow death from their own incompetence and our machinations. Professor, where is the broken sword?
As we discussed last time, with the loss of the manuscript, our search is as a corollary hindered.
And as discussed last time, you have been furnished with a dramatically increased budget. What have you been doing with our money, Professor?
We are working on the principle that the Templars, that is to say, our predecessors,
Hold on. These are the Templars?
Yes.
must have left a trail when they were hiding the clues to the sort of Baphomet's location. I have a small army of historians and archaeologists ferreting out that trail.
I trust these historians and archaeologists are more trustworthy than your friend Pegram.
Igram was loyal. He tried to protect the Lokmarn gem when the Hashashin came near.
And failed. And don't call that Syrian maniac the Hashashin. He's an assassin. Plain and simple.
That's not what he believes. He actually thinks.
Silence! Do I have to remind you that we have a sacred duty? A trust? When Philippe attempted to destroy the Order, we lost the sword and our power with it. Now we have the opportunity to reforge it. But time is short. We need results, not petty bickering, not excuses. Now, Professor Baphomet.
Yes, of course. My apologies. We will find Baphomet and the sword, manuscript or no. We have already found another element actually within Paris.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, we're not exactly sure at present.
Ha!
But I have my best people working on it. You would do well not to criticize others, Eklund. At least I have not murdered one of our own.
Of course. That guy was the bogus doctor in the hospital.
Marquet was a liability. Eklund dealt with him on my orders.
I beg your pardon, Grandmaster. I did not mean to.
Have you any good news for us, Professor?
We already know 3 of the elements. We know that Klausner had obtained the lens before he vanished.
Okay.
Where was he?
Syria. We know that he arrived, but after that, nothing.
The assassin.
I fear so. It's a shame. Klausner was a good operative.
This will be our last meeting in person until we locate the sword of Baphomet. I hope that I don't need to emphasize the importance of finding it. Without it, our endeavors come to nothing. With the sword reforged, we will have the power to sweep the stage of all opposition the next time that we meet. It will be to become the princess of this world!
Wow.
Or Princess of the Universe. I don't know how many of you know the reference. You can look it up on YouTube. Princess, not princess. Princess, multiple prince of the universe. Cool, Templars. Yay, backstory. So how does... what's her name? Nicole. Nico. How does Nico's father fit into this? So we're looking for the sword of Baphomet, and I have a clown's nose. Alright, let's go down. I'm guessing this is a puzzle, which is good. I like puzzles. Ah, yeah, look at that. Puzzle. Let's get out and look at this. No, look at it. Okay, look at it. What about looking at this? I see, they're the same thing.
There was a large circle marked out on the floor with a stump in the middle. Around the circle, I could see words inlaid into the stone. On the circle's circumference were the Templar seal and 2 Latin phrases, Non omnis moriar and Clarior e tenebris. I shall not die completely, the brighter from the darkness.
I shall not die completely, the brighter from the darkness.
I noticed 3 small notches around the edge of the stump's top.
Yeah.
In the middle of the circle was a stump of stone, a shaft of daylight from the world above lancing down to touch it.
Well, that's good. They're giving you a good description of it. If you, I mean, it's quite obvious that it's this.
The tripod's feet fitted neatly into the notches on the top of the stump.
Oh, and then this is gonna point the light towards something.
The light falling from above struck the gem, and scattered in 5 neat rays. And each ray picked out a letter. Starting from the left, I could read M-A-R-I-B. Marib. Now all I had to do was figure out what the heck that meant.
Cool. And we're done.
Nico, I've seen them.
Who?
The Templars. I spied on their meeting in the catacombs.
And you saw the Knights Templar?
I saw a bunch of guys masquerading as Templars. They're after something called the Sword of Baphomet. The bogus doctor was there, the guy who killed Marquet. The manuscript is the key, just as we thought. It shows the way to the broken sword, whatever that is.
And how does the assassin fit into all this?
He's out to stop them. These Neo-Templars, they're men and women in influential positions. Don't you see? Plantar was one of them. The assassin killed him for the manuscript, to stop them finding the sword.
But now we have got the manuscript.
Yes.
So, how do they hope to find the sword?
I don't know. They said something about a lens and a guy called Klausner who's gone to Syria. But they didn't seem to realize the significance of the very site of their meeting. You see, after they'd gone, I discovered a stone pedestal and a carved inscription. I set up the gem on the tripod, directly below a beam of light. The gem split the beam and lit the letters M